No, that's what I'm doing. Dun, 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 dun,
Oh,
dun, dun,
okay, I got you.
dun,
Hey,
dun,
everybody. Hi, how are you? My name's Shawn
dun,
Shaler. That guy
dun,
down there,
dun,
come on,
dun,
Eileen, is Chris, the objective geek of YouTube and Twitter fame. This is
dun.
Avatar. This is Avatar: The Last Karaokeers, and today we're talking about Avatar news. We just wanted to plug in. There's been some recent casting news, some novel news, and then we had a few like personal, just not Avatar related, but personal things that we thought would fit good into one episode. So we're gonna do that thing. And Chris, that's my segue into how are you doing, buddy? What's going on?
I am doing good, pretty much, I guess. Yeah, sure, why not? Um,
That was the least good sounding good I've ever heard anyone do.
I've been in a really good Batman mood lately. I've been like diving since the Batman came out. I've just been diving more into Batman, falling back in love with the character as if it's an actual like, not right. But so I was recently on JK Rants Reviews. We just had John on the Batman review, and he has his own podcast called JK Rants Reviews. So we were on that. We did commentary for Batman and Robin, which I found, a couple more, just like in our commentary for The Last Airbender, I found, a couple different gems. Although, hmm, The Last Air, The Last Airbender is probably better than Batman and Robin. Funny because I feel like there's three movies that hurt my soul because they're so bad: Batman and Robin, The Last Airbender, and probably Dragon Ball Evolution. So I feel like I need to rewatch Dragon Ball Evolution or review it or something
You're gonna think
to
that Dragon Ball
exercise.
Evolution is the worst of that trio, and I'm pretty confident.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I,
like
I'm confident. It's been probably 10 years since I watched it, but I'm pretty confident in that assessment.
this is gonna sound sacrilegious. Dragon Ball Evolution doesn't even hurt my soul because it's so bad that I have
Mm.
shunned it from my memory. Like I don't even consider it in the realm of bad movies.
Yeah, it's also the most like Avatar: Last Airbender.
Blatant
Not
disregard
like
for all that makes Dragon Ball
yes,
good.
like the last Airbender resembles Avatar. There's connective tissues there. The story's pretty much the same to a certain extent of season one. They miss out on a lot of things, but it is recognizably Avatar. Batman and Robin. You can't deny that it's Batman. And
It's
even though
campy, right? It's like it'd
yeah,
be like an older Batman, but it's not out of the question for Batman to be
yeah,
like campy
it
and
is.
humorous.
It's a valid interpretation of the character. Not one that I
A
like, but
shitty
it's a valid
one,
interpretation.
but a valid
Yeah.
one.
And Dragon Ball Evolution just like, what the heck is this garbage
If you
pile of just
if you took the name off of the cover and then sorry, I'm leaning over weird because I'm eating this chocolate bar because I'm starving, so I pushed my microphone away while I ate some food. Uh, if you take like the name off and like got rid of some colors and some names, it would be unrecognizable as anything that was created outside of a high school.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, so been falling back in love with a couple different Batman projects. I watched The Dark Knight the other day. Holy crap, it's such a great timeless freaking movie. It's so good. Um, been thinking a lot about Batman Begins because that's my favorite movie of all time, and just continues to just inform me as a person, and I find new things in it, and I find new really great character threads throughout the whole Dark Knight trilogy in it. Um, but yeah, also been dealing with Oscar fallout. Black America. We came together. We had a meeting. We uh, we all decided it was not a big deal, but
But I don't know if I ever heard back. I filled out this like a questionnaire, but you're in. You got it.
what? Oh, wait,
Yeah.
what?
What are you talking about? Did I miss like a
I said,
whole sentence?
I said that I had a conference with all of Black America because we had to talk about the Oscar fallout,
The
and we all
Oscar
decided that it wasn't a big deal.
What is? Oh my God! I didn't even hear half of that right. Okay, yeah, no, that was not a big deal, and count me among the people that didn't know the Oscars were happening until the next day with the news.
Yeah. The thing is, like, I mean, one thing, hitting people's nut. great, but also making fun of people's not great. Two wrongs, right?
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
and and anyway, but like the Oscars have to be like, holy crap, we are amazing. Like this is the highest Oscar must have been in a while, the most talked about, and 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 Will Smith just announced that he resigned from the Academy or whatever, and like, and we didn't have to punch Will Smith. We had a great year. They're probably thinking that. I mean, sure, like in front of cameras, like we are just so appalled by what happened. Wink, and it's like this is the most the Oscars has trended. It never trends past that night, and it still has. But
Even that night, it's kind of a select group of people.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Like it might show up on Twitter, sure.
Yeah. But
I'm just kidding, Oscars
yeah,
fans. I know it's more popular than I make it out to be.
it's a, yeah.
Hmm.
But
Well, long
yeah,
story
I don't know.
short, I didn't
People,
hear about half of
yeah.
what you said initially.
That's funny, and that's good.
I thought
I
you were
think
talking about the work thing, and I was like, I don't remember
no,
Black America being in the name, but that sounds like the end of something that you would
that's
name a diversity
that's
group.
hilarious.
And I was like, oh, you must be talking about that. And then you said Fallout, and I was like, oh, something went bad with Black America already. He's only been there like a few days.
Oh man,
I'll listen better next
no.
time.
I think tomorrow I'm gonna start tweeting out like random Chris Rock and Will Smith stuff, and just to be like, just because I want to be like, just let's just get it over it. I'm be like, Chris Rock's Bigger and Blacker is one of the best comic stand-ups I've ever have seen. Like honestly, it's
That's
timeless.
tremendous, yeah.
Yeah, and just talk about underrated Will Smith movies, and people be like, wait, why are someone's talking about these two, but they're not talking about
They didn't put the
what
GIF
happened
with it.
between.
I don't understand what he's talking about.
I don't understand, but
Uh,
yeah.
I got to harken back to last week's episode because I lost sleep for several nights trying to decide if I ordered my favorite Batman right and how to interpret that question. You know, we asked a lot of questions and mostly I was happy with my answers, but the
Uh,
favorite Batman actors and how to interpret that question and how I ordered them haunted me for nights. And after several nights of lost sleep, I decided I wouldn't change my order, but I was still upset about it.
you didn't even change
But I
order.
didn't change the
I
order because I still
uh,
identify really well with. I think I put Robert Pattinson first. I still say that on paper Ben Affleck looks and feels like the best Batman on both sides.
mm,
And then what the heck did I say? Did I say Keaton or Bale? I might have said Keaton next or Bale next. I don't know. Just Keaton never does it for me, and Bale gets my bias for having the favorite movies, even though he might be my
yeah.
least favorite actor of the group. But I lost a lot of sleep, but I want you to know that's because that conversation, John, if you're watching this, had an impact on me, and that's what it's all about. Chris, I was watching Space Jam for the first time. This is what I did this week.
Yeah.
Space Jam 2, sorry. I finally got
Oh,
around to
okay.
watching Space Jam 2. I gave up on my friends that I've been waiting on for like, what, a year now? Year plus?
Yeah. Maybe
I
six
gave up
months.
on them. There's a
No,
part
more like 9 months.
There's a
Sorry, keep
part
going.
where LeBron James first gets sucked into the server verse, whatever that's called. And Don Cheadle's there, and he's looking at Don Cheadle, and he's supposed to be looking confused, like, where am I? But he's looking at Don Cheadle like he knows Don Cheadle isn't supposed to be in the
Yeah.
movie or something. I just wanted him so bad to pull the John Mulaney and be like,
Yes, I knew that's where you're going.
is that Don Cheadle? That's what he looks like. He doesn't look confused. He looks like I recognize this person,
Yeah.
like when he can't
Like,
remember somebody's name.
what's
And then
so
that
keep going.
sustained me through the rest of the movie because I gotta be honest, the movie didn't. I'm not gonna say I hated it, but it didn't do a whole lot for me. It is clearly made for not the original
Yeah.
Space Jam crowd, and that's fine. I wouldn't
No, I
watch it
mean,
again, but it's
I
fine.
think they're both equally harmless movies, I
Yeah, that's fair.
guess.
In my head, the only thing I
Um,
could come up with to like I like the original one better because like it's my Space Jam, right? But all the words
yeah.
I keep coming up with to like explain why I like it better amount to like nostalgia or just the fact that I really like Wayne Knight and Bill Murray. Like those
Yeah.
aren't reasons for a movie.
I might like the new one better, but that's like, what do I like better? Celery or I can't even think of a.
I think you need to think
That's
of like
fearless.
two equal junk foods that are equally just like, okay, like I'll eat those, but they're bad for me. There's not nutritional value in them.
No, because I really like junk food. Ah,
There's got to
anyway.
be some candy
Yeah.
that you're like, eh.
Okay. It's like, what do I like better? A Three Musketeer or a Milky Way?
There you go. You nailed it. See, for me, I like the Milky Way better, and I think that's original Space Jam. But like, I can't back up any reason for that other than, one is like my Space Jam. So no
Yeah.
good reason.
I think I might
Nostalgia.
have liked the other one, the new one better, because just because of the different Easter eggs, which is somewhat fun.
There's lots of great.
Um,
The best parts of the movie are the
yeah,
references, right? The property
yeah.
tie-ins.
The thing is, so at the end of the movie, it's funny. At the end of the movie, right? LeBron James is like about to, he's dribbling on the court. His son is like wide open for a three,
I know.
which is
Come
funny to
on,
me
man. And his kid,
because I was like,
he's got
look,
100 on his shot. He created his character.
yeah.
Come
And
on.
in my head, I'm thinking, oh, LeBron's gonna pass it because in basketball, in real life basketball, LeBron James would make that pass nine times
One-handed,
out of
no
10.
look. He's gonna flick his wrist. Listen, I'm not a LeBron James fan, but mad respect. The man can throw a pass with a middle finger,
Yes, and also he's known for end of games not having to take the shot, but just making the right
but
play.
he takes the attention because he will take the
Yeah.
shot. He takes the attention.
Yes. Yeah.
That's what he does.
Yeah. And but he didn't pass to. I was like, he must have no faith in that kid.
You're my least favorite child. I'm gonna take this shot
Yeah.
myself.
But and then I was expecting like if he did pass it for the next day, undisputed, for Skip to be like, even in LeBron James fictional stories, he doesn't take the last shot. And then
That
Shannon be like, Skip, it's a movie, Skip. Come on.
Skip would legitimately have a problem with that. So
Yeah.
Lord help us if he ever actually watches the movie. But the no, the Don Cheadle thing sustained me throughout the whole movie because every time I saw Don Cheadle, I was like, "Is that Don Cheadle?"
Yeah.
Because everybody else just gets to be themselves, but like some actor has to be that guy. It has to
Yeah.
be like a big enough actor to carry the role. Poor Don Cheadle. Anyway, I did that, and then I also made a YouTube video about a game that most people will never play, but I really like it, and it's a good value, and I like good, cheap physical Switch games, and so I made a YouTube video about a Switch game called Cat Quest plus Cat Quest 2 Possum Pack, and it is, I don't know, I was really proud of it. So go watch my video. That'd be awesome. I'd appreciate it. I was proud of the video work, and my dog gets to make lots of appearances.
Yeah. I speaking of videos, I will have a video out in 2 weeks, around April 14th, because it'll be the 10-year anniversary of Legend of Korra. And so other
Oh,
YouTube
nice.
channels are doing their legendary moments from Korra.
It's
So
like
I'm definitely
Easter
doing that.
Saturday.
I've somewhere
Easter,
around
I
there.
think so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know when Easter is. I'm not Catholic.
I think
I'm
it's.
Christian. I should know when Easter is.
I'm Christian. I'll celebrate Easter. Wait a minute.
Not a
The
denomination. The thing
so
is, so when I went, so we when we
so many
started working at
jokes I want to riff
Payless,
off that, but
when we started working at Payless, I was so confused about the I forget the weeks before. There's Easter Sunday, and then what's the Sunday before
Palm
called?
Sunday. And so
Palm Sunday, and
my
there's
understanding is
pre-palm.
that Palm Sunday is not like just Catholics, but like not all Christians do the Palm Sunday thing.
Yeah, I've never heard those phrases before, and so I was confused at Payless when we were because we would build sales because dress shoes and stuff like that go it takes a trends higher during that time. So it'd be like, all right, we got planned sales high and pre-palm, the week before palm, and then on palm week, and then Easter. That Easter is a high peak in sales. I was like, what the heck is this terminology? I never even heard of it. Maybe Baptists don't do that. I grew up in a Baptist church,
I don't
but
know what Christians outside of Catholicism. My dad is Catholicism only, but yeah, you walk into church and they have like palms that have been blessed, and then
okay.
certain parts of the mass where I don't know if you hold them up or you just hold on to. I don't really remember specifically. I know I'm a bad Catholic. Sorry. And then, but then those palms turn into the ashes for next year. You know, the Ash Wednesday ashes.
Yeah.
Those
Oh yeah, and I was
bombed.
the first time I saw someone with that, I was very confused. That was in like high school. The first time I saw someone, I was like, "What the heck they got on their forehead?"
The Ash Wednesday always weirds me out because like there's
No.
the in the Catholic faith there's certain days they call holy days obligation where it's the non-Sundays where you're supposed to go to church, and that's not one of them. But it's like the most attended like church day on the calendar. It's like you don't have to
Yeah.
go. What are you doing? I remember like young Shawn being like, "What,
Yeah.
Mom? Come on! This wasn't in the days." Uh, there's our Easter lesson for you. Easter is
For
on Sunday the
two
15th.
different for two that's how religious we have the same pretty much the same belief system, but grew up completely
Yes, absolutely, in different
different.
interpretations. Um, I vividly remember like the first time because like they like I went to Catholic school, so teaching you like the holy days obligation is a big deal. And then me telling my mom's like, no, we don't have to go to church today. She's like, yeah, but we are. And pardon?
Yeah.
So a 7-year-old Shawn was very offended by that news.
All right.
Chris Video,
Let's get
two
into
weeks.
the yeah.
Let's talk about
Let's
some
get
news.
into let's talk about news. Really, really good news. Okay, so probably a couple months ago, which I didn't really share this with you, Shawn, because it kind of just blew over my head for a while there, that the actual titles to the Kyoshi novels changed. It changed.
What?
Well, I say they changed, but they changed in the sense of like I don't know. They didn't of course they didn't physically change. You can't go look at your book right now and the titles change. But they somewhat changed the title to Avatar Chronicles, um,
They did
Rise of Kyoshi
what we want the
or
Harry Potter Fantastic Beasts movies to do, which is to
mm,
change their
oh crap,
overarching.
yes. Yeah. That's a freaking
I
mouthful.
don't get it.
Fantastic Beast. Wait, no, it's one. Fantastic Beast.
Wizarding
And
World,
the Secrets
Fantastic
of
Beasts, Secret
Dumbledore.
of Dumbledore. Yeah, and they have to show the
Like just
Wizarding World logo in front of
yeah.
it as if we don't know from everything else. Ah, it pisses me off. Anyway, sorry, title
So so they
change.
so they changed it to Avatar Chronicles,
Okay,
The Rise of
fair.
Kyoshi, Avatar Chronicles, The Shadow of Kyoshi, whatever. Because that then says like, oh well, if these are Avatar Chronicles, that means that they might chronicle more avatars. So that was the takeaway. I for some reason forgot about it, didn't bring it up in previous news. But anyway, but coming full circle, now they have a new book announced to come out in July called Avatar Chronicles. I believe that's actually what I might be butchering that. But anyway, it is the Dawn of Yangchen. That's the name, right? I feel like
Yes.
that's the name.
Yep.
Okay. It's the Dawn of Yangchen.
If they call it Avatar
Uh,
Chronicles, what's James Cameron going to call his Netflix series? It's going to be very confusing for everybody.
yeah, yeah. Called the Dawn of Yangchen. FCE, who wrote the Kyoshi novels, is coming back to write Yangchen, which that's really exciting. Really enjoyed his writing. I think he just really puts you into the world of Avatar, really puts you into the mind of Kyoshi, even though the book isn't a singular like POV. It's not written necessarily from her perspective, but you still really get into her thought process and her feelings and emotions, and it's just written really, really well.
And
Um,
I think it signifies that hopefully that means that's a good relationship between this author that we have grown to like and the creators who is obviously
yeah.
having to vet this. Hopefully that's a good relationship sign overall.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. I don't see Mike and Brian being the type of ones to if they didn't have a good relationship, they would just end it.
They would just
Clearly from
cut
net
it and
from their Netflix, like they were on somewhat the pinnacle of like who doesn't want a Netflix show? Who doesn't want a show run? And they're like, nah, we don't do we
when
don't we're
FC was
not.
like, "What if Kyoshi wasn't super tall?" and they're like, "Get out,
Yeah.
get."
Um. Yeah. So, do you all have the image I sent you, the excerpt
Oh,
of it?
did you send me? Oh yeah. Let me pull it up on my phone. I thought you
Okay.
like something to put in the PowerPoint, and I hate to warn
No,
you,
you didn't
but
have to put in
I
PowerPoint.
did not
'Cause
do that.
I wouldn't have been able to read it.
Yes, I have the excerpt. Would you like me to read it?
Okay.
Or
Yeah, read the whole thing.
Yang Chen's I already screwed it up 2 words in. Yangchen's inexperience may prove to be her greatest asset. Plagued by the voices of avatars before her for as long as she can remember, Yangchen has yet to earn the respect felt for Avatar Rozukin. No, Zito. I don't remember how we decided to say that. I'm going to say Zito, her predecessor. In an era where loyalty is bought rather than earned, she has little reason to trust her counsel. When Yangchen travels to Bin Er, in the Earth Kingdom on political business, a chance encounter with an informant named Kavik leads to a wary partnership. Bin Er is a city ruled by corrupt Shang merchants who have become resentful of the mercurial Earth King and his whims. To extract themselves from his influence, the Shangs have one solution in mind: a mysterious weapon of mass destruction that would place power squarely in their hands. As Yangchen and Kavik, that's definitely wrong, seek to thwart the Shang's plans, their unlikely friendship deepens. But for Yangchen to chart her course as a singularly powerful avatar, she must learn to rely on her own wisdom above all else. This propulsive third installment in the Chronicles of the Avatar series illuminates Avatar Yangchen's journey from uncertain young woman to revered leader. Sorry about the names.
No, I find the synopsis really interesting on multiple fronts. The whole, and also we'll get into our top three things that we would like to see in it. But just covering the synopsis, things that kind of stand out to me is that she hears these voices in her head, and I feel like the novels are approaching the Avatar, the past lives as like somewhat of a mild form of schizophrenia. Like like you hear things and you're just not sure what it is. Like
Well, if you had like an uneducated team avatar around you, or like it doesn't really imply that she's got like a great team avatar or no knowledge of that. And so it'll be
yeah.
curious to like, does she know that she's the avatar? When does that dawn? And does she know what to expect? And probably not. So yeah, she probably just feels like a crazy person.
Yeah, and who should she listen to and things like that. Because it's really interesting not to spoil Kyoshi novels, I mean just a little bit, I guess. But she says someone says in it, she says. She says in it like she's talking to Kyoshi and she's like, you could talk to all of your past lives 1,000 times, and you still wouldn't know which best way would be to guide the world. Pretty much saying like they all got their own different opinions about things. And even when Kyoshi had killed this one character, she was like, in that thought, she's like, she could feel their feelings about it. Some were fine with it, some disagreed with her killing, but she didn't care. So it's interesting to think of a Yang Chen being having to struggle with hearing all these different voices with different opinions, probably somewhat yelling at her or things like that. So just how she deals with that.
Yeah, like I said, every avatar that we've gotten intimate stories with so far has had a team avatar. They've not been
Mm,
totally in the dark. It'll be kind of curious to see if she does not.
yeah, yeah. Anything else from the synopsis that stands out to you before we get into our top three things that we would love to see in the novel?
I like that it's introducing like it feels like a brand new plot. It doesn't feel like a wash on something that we already know or something that we've already
Yeah,
kind of seen before. It feels brand new, which is fantastic. No, it's not a huge excerpt, and I'm not the most insightful guy, so I'm not going to try to take away too much from it. But it sounds exciting.
yeah. But yeah, the only other thing that stood out to me was that that her inexperience is going to be her greatest strength because that kind of says that she might go against the mold or go up against the grain
That's part of
from
the
what these like from they should go against like what people want from her or think they should get from her or expect from her. Um, and there seems to be some corruption in the Earth Kingdom, so that'll be really interesting.
poor Earth Kingdom, always the subject of corruption and little
Yeah,
things.
I mean it's freaking huge. I get it. Like
It
it's
kind of makes
hard
sense.
to like I mean maybe only someone, 500 years in the future can really bring order to it,
You watch your
almost
mouth,
like
Chris.
Almost like an
Fighting words.
empire of sorts.
No, no,
You
empire.
know.
That's too strong. That's too strong. A unification, a unified group of somethings.
A person who could greatly unite them.
Yeah,
You know,
and do it in great fashion.
great, yeah, great uniter.
Poor Earth Kingdom though, they never catch a break. It would be cool to have an Airbender story from like, well, hopefully, I guess that's what we'll get, right? But it's in the Earth Kingdom. But hopefully, we'll get more insight um, into I don't know, pre show airbending, pre genocide airbending. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We didn't really. I mean, we saw some of that in the Kyoshi novels.
To a
Really
small
not like.
degree, yeah, not a
Yeah, like we met Song, and then I forgot his name. Sorry, Jinpa? No, that's the name of a bison, I think.
and but
Or
and
maybe.
also Kyoshi's connection to the
Yeah,
airbender lineagely,
yeah,
but no, just to touch on more of like society and actual airbender life outside of Team Avatar. That'd be cool. Pre
yeah,
genocide.
definitely.
And no, the inexperienced part was part of what I like. It felt like it was implying to me that she was kind of at a lack of knowledge that her
Mm,
that other avatars were used to would have. But yeah, very
yeah.
curious, very exciting. I'm sure she'll do Avatar Rozukin proud.
Yeah, still think that's a better name.
I think
All
so
right,
too.
I'll start off with the number three thing, and we'll just alternate. Three, three,
Hmm?
two, two, one, one. My number three thing that I want to see from the Yangchen novel, which I wonder. I mean, I'm sure there'll be more than one novel, probably. Anyway, that's not the thing.
Maybe I don't
Um,
know.
yeah. I let's see. I want to see Yang Chen, uh, just I guess go against the the airbending philosophy. Um, I think so. There's the relationship that they talked about in it, and with this other person who I forgot his name already. But airbending philosophy is seems to be like we don't believe in relationships. Like we believe in love and things like that, but we're nomadic. Like we don't have this singular family structure. But I would like her to challenge herself on that, to challenge her own belief system, which I think would kind of be a strong message, right? Because oftentimes, people believe whatever their parents believe, and there's not. I mean, and I am guilty of that. But to a certain extent, sometimes you find yourself challenging certain aspects, and sometimes you come out a better believer because of it, or you come out just more, at least a little bit more thoughtful, maybe a little bit more open to different people's ways of lives. Um, and so I think that would be really interesting, especially if these two characters become close, because like I just imagine Yangchu's inner monologue being like, "We we don't we don't do this," like kind of. I don't want to say a sexual awakening because that's more than I. Do I want sex in this book? That's interesting though. You know, uh, this never happened in a, in a,
I don't know
in
why
a
that's so funny. Do I want some sex? Do I want some action in these pages?
oh, just like that's never been a singular thought in Avatar, except for in the comics where Korra is clearly hitting on Asami to come to bed and forget about. And there's this one specific scene. I'm like, dang, Korra, keep it in your pants.
It's just so
Um,
thirsty for a
yeah,
waterbender, especially. That's weird.
man, all right. But I think have her dealing with that. Um, so yeah, so I would like to see her have some type of building this relationship with this person, and then questioning her own beliefs and like what it really does she really want to follow the airbending beliefs? Because also this goes to like the thing she said to Aang at the end there was just like yes, many wise and noble air nomads have reached enlightenment. Um, but you're the avatar, like you can't just box yourself into these thoughts because you serve the world. And so like I wonder how she kind of deals with that. Oh, okay, never mind, I'll get into a second point. Like I couldn't think of a third one for a minute there, but I have a third one now. I'll save that for later. Keep going. All right, you're three.
I'm gonna recycle what I just said because I just thought of it when we brought it up here. Is you know, hopefully there's some influx of again pre-genocide Airbender society, or just
Hmm.
getting to experience the air temples when they're like alive and vibrant. I think that would be really cool. And so I'm just gonna recycle that for my number three because I hadn't thought of a third yet either.
Yeah. Um, my number two that I just thought of is I want to see Yangchen kill somebody.
Nice.
Like that sound. Like, this sounds like I just want a rated R book. I don't.
I want some
I don't want a
sex.
rated
I want her to stab
R.
people.
Yeah. Like imagine like when Kyoshi kills someone, she's fairly cool afterwards. She's not like, oh, I can't believe I just killed this person. She's like, yeah, I killed that effort. I don't care. I don't care what anybody thinks.
No,
He
you don't
deserved to
even want her
die.
to comment when
She
she's
goes
done. She want to
Samuel.
be so cool that
Yeah,
she just kill and walk away. There's no monologue or
she
anything.
goes
That's how cool she is.
she goes Samuel L. Jackson at Time to Kill. Yes, they deserve to die, and I hope they burn in hell. Uh, but Yang Chen, if she kills someone, I want her to be like just have an identity crisis. I'm just like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Like I didn't mean for in a hope in have it be an accident, right? Like she couldn't control the avatar state or something to that extent. Her being like, no, no, like this isn't like I just have her questioning herself and be going that down that path. I think it would be really interesting to take an opposite of Aang, right? Both started off with the same exact beliefs, but then end them in a different spot. I don't want her to be bloodthirsty at all, but I just want her to be like come to some realization that you know what, like no, I don't want to kill people, but sometimes the situation unfortunately requires that.
I think my number two is. Hopefully I articulate it well. I want to see an avatar with sort of slightly lesser physical gifts. Like there's such an emphasis on Kuruk being so naturally good at physical things and at
Okay.
bending, and Kyoshi, you know, not as refined maybe or whatever, but super powerful,
Yeah, yeah,
buried under there. Even Aang, you know, he's almost so athletic. Like all of Aang that we see is like, he's just a little athlete, a sprightly little
yeah.
fella. And I would think it would be really cool to think, you know, maybe it's more along the lines of the strategic side of Batman when she's murdering people. Chris, no, the I just maybe that's not super gifted bending, but strategic and or highly creative with a slightly more limited skill set, and maybe just physically, even aside from bending, not as gifted. I think that would be an interesting uh, break from the more common mold.
Yeah, that dang it. Ah, what are you doing? Okay, go back. Go back to that. Dang it. I'm in the call. There we go. No?
Yep, no, I can still hear
Wow.
you. Just can't see you.
Yeah.
I mean, your
Ah,
picture,
wow.
your what do you call it? Your avatar, coincidentally,
Yeah.
pun intended, is staring like
Wow.
into my soul right now. You got your people's eyebrow going on, looking right
There
into
we go.
mine.
Okay. I'm back, man.
Number one
Yeah, I
for
can't.
you, Chris.
I had a number
Well,
one. I can't think of it. It was really good.
do you want me to give my number one and hopefully it'll spark your memory?
Yes, please.
My number one is I want to dive back into, especially now knowing what we know about Kuruk. I want her to have some deep spirit world experiences. Maybe even another
Mm.
Juan interaction. We all know that I don't like Juan. Give him a chance to redeem himself. Maybe even some early Rava and Vatu kind of interaction, or hearing that story told from a slightly different perspective.
Yeah.
Or just heavier in the spirit world interaction, but with some of those familiar faces. Maybe fill some gaps, add some detail to the Avatar origins when she's going through this schizophrenia.
Yeah. Um, I'm so mad at myself because I had a number one.
I
It's
tried
so
to jog
clearly
your
the number
memory. I
one,
really did.
and for some reason I should have written it down.
It did it. Well, you already
Uh,
did sex and murder. Do you want drugs? Is that number one for you?
mm, No, I'm not big on drugs. Never really done drugs before. Also, I've never done murder either.
I was
But
gonna say, what's the other John Mulaney thing? It's very inappropriate, but something suck a D and sell drugs, and then I remember what. Yeah, I can't say any of that on here, but the John Mulaney thing where he's like she says those three things to him, and by the end of it, he's running a small business.
yeah. All right. So I'm gonna think of this one. It's just all right. So we'll get more. I love lore. Love it. I love how much more lore we got with the Kyoshi novels. We learned so much more about Avatar Korra. So now we have the opportunity to learn. I really don't want to learn more about Avatar Zeto.
Yeah, he
He's
sounds
fine.
boring.
He just seems like an accountant. But if we could possibly go back more, if we could possibly go back, more lifetimes, and pretty much her previous four. Um, there's that Avatar that people call Avatar Gimli. No, that's not his name. That's what people call him.
Yeah, I mean, it makes
Um,
a lot of sense. Look at him.
yeah, yeah. And so we can learn more about pretty much the four previous avatars um, before Yangchen. So just get more information on that.
That
I'm still mad I can't
the
remember my
waterbender
one.
dude over Gimli's right shoulder hour, looking at him on the left. If that's the
Yeah,
previous waterbender, that guy is huge.
yeah, no, it
Look
is
at him in
huge.
like forced perspective. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, there is this fan artist called Falling or Failing Radish, who like has taken every single random image or picture of every single avatar and have done their own character designs based off of it and have given them just like little story tidbits here and there. Really good uh, images and really great art to look at, like really beautiful art, really great at character designing too. Like they'll take like a random, just over the shoulder image of an avatar that you see, and then create kind of a whole new story and character description for them.
Well, the guy behind Avatar Gimli is Avatar Andre the Giant. He invented
Avatar on there'd be a random avatar Andre.
Avatar
Like,
Andre, and he invented ice wrestling. Something like that. Wrestled polar bears. That's what he did. Just regular polar
oh,
bears.
also we'll get to one thing looking forward to. It's not the thing I thought of before, but we'll get to see Kyoshi, not Kyoshi's, Yangchen spirit animal. So that'll be interesting.
Oh, neat. Yeah, good catch. I kind of forget that spirit animals are a thing from time to time, quite honestly.
Yeah, one thing, it's kind of the whole thing is kind of fuzzy,
Inconsistent?
to be honest. Like
I'm going to call it
Kyoshi's
iffy, yeah.
spirit animal is technically an actual spirit who's like a fox.
But it's like a
Uh,
spirit creature from the spirit world, kind of, right? Did I interpret
yeah,
that right?
yeah, but Roku's is a physical dragon and Aang's is Appa and Korra's is Naga. Like,
Anything that has spirit qualifies.
yeah, like they just get like from Kyoshi, they just get like a little bit more normal and normal. Like
It's very
Korra's is
true.
a dog.
Which means that Yangchen's is going to be amazing.
Yeah.
Her
I
spirit.
love this fan theory that Kyoshi's spirit animal was the Unagi. And like there's some really great fan art of her meeting it when it was just like a little fish. And then she's like says to like, you're gonna watch over them forever, aren't you? And then of course Kyoshi passes away and then just shows the Unagi growing older and older and watching over Kyoshi Island. Like that is like some of the best, I think, fan theories that I'm gonna say that Kyoshi can have more than one spirit animal and say that
Just to
that's
accommodate
I'm
that
gonna
fan theory. I'm going to
yeah, I'm
say
gonna
that
hold it in my head canon.
Yang Chen's spirit animal is like the eagles from Lord of the Rings or something like that. Something super excessive. Yeah.
Ooh, that would kind of be
A
cool. A new
griffin.
different type of eat.
It's a griffin.
They do have well, they have those condor things that was in the
Oh,
circus, but I didn't like the
yeah.
way those looked.
That was
But
scary.
something
Yeah.
something like a griffin-ish type of
Give
deal.
it
I
a
could see
different
that.
name
That'd
that's
be kind
an
of cool.
animal combination,
Although she,
horse eagle
although
or eagle
she,
horse or something.
she probably has a flying bison, which that sounds dumb. That sounds boring. When I just
That's
said, oh, she probably just has a
been
flying
there,
bison.
done that. Am I right?
Yeah, like come on, everyone has a. At first, I thought Kyoshi's spirit animal was going to be that flying bison that was her mother's at first, but then it ended up retiring or something.
Retired. I
Like,
don't know why
listen,
that sounds funny.
I've go up to retirement. Like, yeah. Anyway,
Hmm, interesting.
and still really mad that I can't think of the one thing I was really excited about
Let's drop the other news
for
tidbits and when you think about it, because you inevitably will. No
I
time
will,
like exactly that moment.
yeah. I'll probably think of it in like two recordings from now, and like
Yeah.
3 weeks from now for viewers, I'll be like, and I remember what that thing I was gonna say. And be like, wasn't that 3 weeks ago?
Yeah,
Be
most
like,
viewers would be like, I'm not going back to piece that together. I'm not going to do it.
yeah. Anyway, okay. Other news in Avatar. So really interesting. So I'm gonna ask you a trivia question, Shawn. What
Oh,
two
good
siblings
grief.
in the Avatar universe never have a line of dialogue together?
Oh, okay, yeah. Iroh and Ozai.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
That was way easy.
Oh, but it's not that you tipped me off about the trivia, but you tipped me off about
No,
the
that's
topic,
true.
or I
I
would,
did.
I
That
gotta
is
be
true.
honest, I would not have remembered. I could have sat here
Okay.
and thought a long time.
Yeah. I
Just
did
being
send
honest.
Sean like a couple of different like news items, and I wrote
When
Ozai
Chris is
Avatar
taking notes to
Netflix.
himself, which we use each other for notes to self, that's totally fine. But Chris's notes to himself are the most basic. Like, I don't know how you interpret like the news that you take. You're just like Ira Ozai. Oh,
Yeah.
and
Um. So I forgot his full name. I only remember his first name. Paul, who is Paul. I think it's Paul
Paul.
Sung Yi. Um, who will be playing Iroh in the Netflix live action adaptation. And Daniel Day Kim, who will be playing Ozai, so they're brothers, in the show. They don't have a single line of dialogue together. They are in a scene together, just in the Zuko flashback of his Agni Kai with his dad. But they're never in the same frame. They're barely in the same room, but they're in the same scene. But that's the only scene in the whole entire show that they're together.
You sound
But
like you're
Paul
developing a
and
conspiracy theory that they're the same person. You ever seen them in the same place at the same time? Nah,
yeah,
here, same frame.
Iroh was the one who scarred Zuko.
Zuko had schizophrenia. He thought it was a different person. Nope. Your favorite character of all
Yeah.
time? Actually, the Fire Lord. Mic drop.
But anyway, so they were recently on Instagram together in a video, and they were just having like a cup of not tea, but like alcohol, cheering to each other. They're like, "Hey, what did we just do?" And then they're like, one of them was like, "We just filmed a really great scene together," and they seemed to be really like into it and stuff,
And
which is
you're
really
like, what?
interesting because Iroh, like it must have been to them a really good scene that maybe really pushed them as actors or just a really cool scene. Iroh knows that never have any scenes together, so I'm really curious what this scene is, and so it's going to be different from the show, which I think is good. So I'm going to speculate what it is. Um, if
You
I
go
had to
first. I'm going
guess,
second.
okay, if I had to guess, it is a flashback to when uh, Ozai overthrew their father, and like I'm imagining right after he had his father killed, Iroh returns home, and so and they maybe challenge an Agni Kai, or just even if it's a challenge of ideas and thoughts and an argument, that could still be very powerful about just where the soul of the Fire Nation is lying at, and eventually all Fire Nation sides, not with Iroh, who is the renowned general, very famous Dragon of the West, but with Ozai, who is pretty much just a prince. So I think that is probably what it has to do with. Um, and I doubt for some reason they bring up Zuko because I don't know, because at that point um, he hasn't been burnt yet. But that's what I think it is.
I'm gonna say it's a flashback to like 20s, age 20s. Ozai and Iroh probably upper 20s, Ozai lower 20s, and Iroh they're sitting at the dinner table, home for the holidays or something like that, and then Iroh's
Oh,
like, "Hey,
okay.
check this out," and then he belches fire, and Ozai's like, "Oh, nice," and that's this whole scene, and then they were toasting to that moment. That's how it's gonna go down. Mark my
Nice.
words.
I like that route you went.
I was just
Um,
like, I want to picture it so much like away from their current characters as possible. What would they be like as kids sitting around the table? 30s,
I
20s
mean,
wasn't
I
really
was
kids,
like,
but
I think I was about 10 or 15 years older than him.
they certainly make
It
him
just
look
feels
like
that way.
15 years older. Like, that
Yeah.
wouldn't surprise me at all.
Although that being said, Iroh like just his hair just started turning gray. Like when when his hair was black when Zuko was like 10 years old. And then it immediately started turning gray after that, like probably what, 5 or 3 years later. So we see
Yeah,
Zuko.
I'm still gonna
And so
speculate
like
10 years apart, but that's that's pretty
I am
heavy
too.
speculation.
I am too. It's just that they look farther apart than I think they really are because of the grief that Iroh went through after his son died.
And the fact that Ozai is shredded and has black shiny hair,
Yeah.
it's a good look for him.
Yeah. So that's one really I think exciting thing about coming up about the Netflix series. Speaking of the Netflix series, other news, it is confirmed to be 8 1-hour episodes. That doesn't really change anything how I feel about it. That's kind of what I expected. I expected 8 to 10 1-hour episodes, which is fine. It's I think it's exactly the same runtime as the first season. Um, yeah.
I have no opinion, or at least my opinion is like 1 hour episodes are great for eating dinner while watching an episode, but I find 20 or 30-minute episode shows more like bingeable.
I I love 30-minute episodes. I
It
think
just
30-minute episodes are perfect.
it feels
Like
more
I
bingeable. It
love
feels like
it.
I'm covering more ground.
Like an hour episodes, like I gotta commit to this now.
That's
I gotta
fair.
take time out of my schedule. And because I want to watch the whole episode in one sitting. I don't like breaking up watching episodes. I barely I like breaking up watching movies. Like I hate doing that. So I really hate doing it to episodes of a TV show. But 30 minutes is like, all right, I get in, I get a good story. Um, and and then if I'm, once that ends, I'm like, oh, I'm not too tired yet. Maybe I'll pop in another one, do another 30 minutes. I can more easily do 2 30-minute episodes than 1 hour long episode.
That's fair. There's less variables to try to navigate, or you don't have to plan as far out. I can
Yeah.
I can get on board with that. Heather and I are really bad about like 1 hour TV show episodes. But
Hmm.
that being said, the flexibility of 2 30-minute episodes versus 1 60-minute episode, you just got more options.
Yeah.
That makes sense to me. So you heard it here first. Terrible idea. Come on. 16 30-minute episodes, man.
Yeah.
That's our hot
Um,
take for the day.
other news related to Avatar, the budget came out. That sounds like, guys, the budget came out. And
Yay. Call Avatar Zito, I guess. What do you.
yeah, I know, right? Um, so the budget is apparently 125 million
Okay.
for the entire first season, which is a lot.
Yeah, that sounds
That
hefty.
puts it at I think about 15 million per, no, like 15 to 20 million per episode, which is really high. For Netflix, it's like in their top five. I believe it's comparable to Stranger Things and might be that budget might be greater than The Witcher, which I still haven't watched season two. I watched one episode, season two so far,
Okay.
and that was not that into. Anyway, um, so yeah, they're putting money
Always, but
behind
I
it,
get it.
which is good. But also, I feel like that also, with more money behind it, that's more risk. If it doesn't do the numbers that they need to do, Netflix isn't afraid to cancel things. Which is I just really hope they give Avatar the chance to tell the complete story. I mean, on the other side, if they don't, I'm pretty sure Paramount will be like, all right, whatever, we'll do it. And
Here,
then,
here's half the money. Do what you can. Bring it over here.
yeah. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if they just took it off net, even though Netflix is producing it. Uh, if that ever happened, I wouldn't be surprised if Paramount bought it, the streaming rights to it, to put it on Paramount Plus, because that's what um That's what Disney Plus did with the Marvel Netflix shows like Daredevil and Luke Cage and Jessica
Yeah,
Jones.
like those
Like
were
they're not on
Netflix
Netflix anymore.
produced. Yeah.
Yeah, those were like Netflix produced shows. Those just weren't shows that Netflix just bought or something. And now it's on Disney Plus.
It's a weird time to be alive, quite frankly.
Yeah. Yeah. Holy crap. We've been in this 50 minutes. Was there any other news that oh, do you have anything about budget? You probably don't.
Nope, I don't pay attention to that stuff. I listen to what you tell me, and I like that's in stone for me. He's like, Chris said that's a lot of money. That means it's a lot of money. I believe him. It's not surprising to me that it fits in their top five. It kind of they have pushed it as if it was going to be, or they have the expectations that it's going to be that tier of show for them. So I guess it's not surprising to me, but I would have never known what that number looked like or what those other shows numbers looked. I will
Yeah.
say that one of my complaints with The Witcher is there's a couple times in Witcher where you're like, I do like The Witcher a lot. There's a couple times where you're like, that could use some more budget.
Hmm.
That scene could have used a
Yeah.
few more dollars. Not very often. There's just a few times in there I'm like, ooh.
Yep. Um, oh, real quick. So the Avatar RPG games that came out, a whole bunch of new lore dropped about it. I haven't gotten into it yet, but a lot of really interesting little tidbit things. Um, let's see. So in our one of our
These are
past
mobile, right?
videos that I don't know, it's a physical RPG game. I don't know how those
Oh,
games
I'm
work.
sorry, like a tabletop RPG.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah,
Yeah.
tabletop. Um, it's funny in our one of our past ranking the Avatar videos, one person kept on saying I forgot to respond to him, just like, no, you guys need to redo this like now. Like the RPG stuff came out, and we got new information on Roku. It says that he was like one of the most renowned avatars since Yangchen, one of the best ones. And then, but like it's only been like when he wrote that, it was only like a week since they came out.
It's
Uh,
not to mention
so
if
I was
it's
like,
like a full size RPG. Like I've been playing D&D on the same campaign for like a year and a half, so ain't
yeah,
nobody
yeah.
got time for that.
I think all the information. I think you can get all the information just through like
That
PDFs
no,
and
that
stuff
makes a
like
lot of
that.
sense.
So I'll just read through there. But I think we'll wait until the maybe until the
Got to do Yangchen in the next,
yeah,
included
the
in our next
Yangchen,
set, right?
yeah.
Okay,
So
we
I'll
will
we'll
look into that information when we do our next set, but it will definitely be after Yangchen, and I'm a slow
yes.
reader, so cut me some slack.
Mhm. Yeah, this might be a running like here's the new 2022 Avatar rankings, and
I
then
have
in
no
2 years
qualms
here's
with.
the
I'm
new
fine with that.
2024.
Hopefully,
Yeah,
Yangchen gives us a couple more names to drop in there too.
oh crap, yeah, that would be
Rozukin
good.
and Gimli, we want to dig a little deeper into those guys' lives. Zito,
Yeah,
yeah, he's definitely last right now. There's just no redeeming qualities to what I know about him.
yeah. The thing is, even though that person said that, like that specific story takes place during Roku's time, but like before the 100 Year War. And I'll be like, well, they're not
Ooh,
even including the 100 Year War in that assessment. Like that's this big, that's the
that's a
big
pretty
thing
big
that he,
scar on the old resume, champ.
yeah.
But no, I mean, you're talking to a guy who is, I certainly am more supportive of Roku than Chris, personally. I get it,
Oh yeah,
but
that is true.
I still want to. I'm gonna call the waterbender the really big. Instead of Avatar Andre, I kind of want to make it sound waterbendery. I'm going with Unashak.
Ooh, Unishak.
Unashak,
That
yeah,
sounds legit.
yeah. And I mean, look at that
Few few
guy.
names
Oof.
are few names are very persistent in the Water Tribe. So that's canon now.
That's
Unishak.
good. It is now. We've got Rozukin, and Gimli wasn't us. Somebody else did that, so we got credit where
Oh yeah,
credit is due.
that's yeah.
But Rozukin and
I'm not
Unashak, we
sure.
got.
Someone told me a name one time. I was like, yeah, that's a good name. I forgot what it was. But I liked it more than Gimli because Gimli's almost like Jafar, like it's a stereotype.
That's
But
yeah, and also we only
uh,
ever see young Gimli in the movies, right? And that's clearly old Gimli, so I think we could do better.
yeah, someone told me a really good name, and I did forget it. But it was a really good name. It was
Not
like
what are
this
some
is
common?
Chinese for mountain something. I was like, oh, okay,
So
for
it's still
short
like
mountain. I
yeah,
was,
like Gimli, but Chinese. I can get on board with that.
Yeah.
Any last news to wrap things up?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Nope. All right. Well, in 2 weeks, aka 2 hours, when you think of your number one thing, just shout it out. In the meantime, thank you so much for watching our one-off today on Avatar current news and novel updates. Very exciting stuff. My name's Shawn Taylor. That's Chris Ford, aka The Objective Geek of YouTube and Twitter. I will put the contact stuff and the details down in the description. Thanks a lot for watching. We appreciate it as always.
Ah, my hand wave missed.
Well, now you can narrate it because I didn't meet you.
My Morgan Freeman voice, and then Chris wave goodbye.
My Morgan
Oh,
Freeman
the
voice.
people
The first thing I
cannot
think of
see
is still just the Frank
LeBron
Caliendo
James.
letter. Yeah.
Yeah.